The inquiry project is about the Industrial Revolution, and it focuses on the question, how might we learn from the Industrial Revolution to improve life today? These first several slides give you information about the project itself with resources for educators. This is an overview of the resources that are available to you as well as to your students. There are links to reviews of the various apps the students will use, and this is handy particularly if you have not used some of these apps before. Connections to the standards, an overview of the resources students will use as they're working on their project, and then further information about the project itself. At this point, we're getting into the slides that the students will be working with. I suggest that you make a copy of the presentation, then eliminate those first several slides we just looked at, and then you can push that out through your learning management system, like Google Classroom, for example. Give each student a copy, and then that way they can write directly on the presentation. The hook to the unit is a homework assignment in which students will look around their houses for items, 10 of them, that are powered by batteries or electricity, other forms of energy that were not in existence before the Industrial Revolution, and then come back to school the next day, and there's an activity that involves a discussion with the class and a brainstorming chart. They then do a reading about life before the Industrial Revolution. This comes from Kids Discover. After doing the reading, they will take a quiz through Google Forms. Then to connect it to Maine, they will go to the Maine Historical Society's website, where they will read about Industrial Revolution, pre-Industrial Revolution, times in Maine. Next, they will explore how life changed as a result of the Industrial Revolution, starting with a video they will watch, which has questions embedded in it through Edpuzzle. This will keep them engaged and accountable for their learning. Bringing it back to Maine again, they will read another section of the Maine Historical Society website. They will work with a partner to create a quiz to demonstrate their learning. And at this point in the project, students have some choice from this point on of what topics within the Industrial Revolution they would like to learn more about. So they have three choices. They are how the Industrial Revolution impacted people's lives, how did it impact engineering science and daily life, that would include goods and services in daily life, and how did it impact the environment. For each of these, there is a book on Epic Books, and Epics is a free online book reading app. So there is Children in the Industrial Revolution, which talks about children in particular, but all people in general. There's a book on the revolution in industry to go with the effects on engineering, science, and daily life. And finally, there is a book called Industrial City, which deals with the effects on the environment. Using these books and other texts and other resources that they find, students will research and take notes. There is a video called Responsible Note-Taking that is a tutorial that will help students to learn how to put their research into their own words so that they're not plagiarizing. All students will need to explore this question: how has technology changed how people work and live? And how can we use what we have learned from the lessons of the Industrial Revolution to improve life moving forward? For this purpose, they'll work with the class to get an overview of the digital age, the evolution of the digital age from about 1947 to present times. And they'll read another epic book called The Trash Revolution, or selected chapters from it, depending on teacher choice. And this addresses the issues of what we do with our waste today and what the challenges remain with that. Bringing it even closer to home, students will interview their families or a parent specifically about how their work and home life has changed as a result of the digital age. Students will then take their notes and plan out their presentation. There is a design checklist for them to use, as well as a scoring rubric that is provided ahead of time so that students know what's expected and are set up well for best chance of success with the project. There is one piece that they're asked to create as a requirement, and that is using concept mapping software called Poplet, which they will use to show the causes and effects of whatever their subtopic is within the Industrial Revolution. They will use a storyboard to plan out the different slides within their presentation. Your final project is all compiled into an Adobe Spark video or into Clips, which is an iPad app from Apple. And prior to submitting this for summative assessment by the teacher, they'll have an opportunity to self-assess using the checklist and the rubric, as well as to get feedback from a peer. So if you would like to use this with your students, you're absolutely free to do that. Go to the download project button on the website, and it will take you to everything that you've seen here. Thank you.